Good morning. It's Friday, March 10th. I'm On Cook, and you're watching Nightly News.
And I'm Jonathan Shepard. For our first story, we go back in time and across the Atlantic Ocean.
Here with the story is Nightly News correspondent Elijah Kennedy.
Risking death at the hands of a dictator, a member of an underground resistance group forges documents to help thousands of people escape to freedom. It sounds like something from a good spy movie, but it's not. This stuff has actually happened. And the guy forging these documents that saved thousands of lives wasn't a secret agent or trained fighter. He was a shy Jewish teenager from France. During World War II, Adolf Kaminsky learned how to make fake IDs and documents that helped thousands of Jews in France escape from being put in Adolf Hitler's concentration camps during the Holocaust. We did a segment on this earlier this year about a filter to the Holocaust Museum. But as a reminder, the term Holocaust refers to the mass murder of millions of Jews in Europe by Hitler and his Nazi party. Kaminsky is now 91 years old and is living in Paris, France. To really understand his heroism and the risk he took to save others, we need to take a deeper look at the chapter of world history. Discrimination against Jews was common in Europe by the 1930s, and by the end of the decade it had escalated into widespread violence because Hitler and his Nazi party believed that the Jews were racially inferior and needed to be eliminated. In September of 1939, the Nazi party invaded Poland, sparking World War II across Europe. The Nazis hunted down Jews and deported them to concentration camps. At these camps, Jews were deemed unfit to work, were put to death in gas chambers disguised as showers. Thousands of Jews were saved, however, by the underground resistance groups, who risked death to save others. Kaminsky was one of those resistors. After the Nazis killed his mother and one of his friends, he began acts of sabotage against the Nazis. Some underground resistance agents learned that Adolfo had a special talent, removing watermining from clothing. Watermining was a permanent blue ink used in official documents like ID cards, and no one in the resistance could figure out how to erase it. If Jews had any chance of escape, typically Jewish names had to be removed from their documents and replaced with French-sounding names. Adolfo had learned how to remove these things from the clothing after dropping out of school when he was 13 in order to support his family by working in a dry cleaning shop. Adolfo used his skills he learned editing his school newspaper to produce various fonts, rubber stamps, and letterheads, and watermarks. Soon, Adolfo and his fellow workers were producing like 500 fake documents a week. Historians estimate that France's resistance network saved tens of thousands of Jews. This work Kaminsky did was extremely dangerous. Several of the people he worked with were caught and murdered. After the United States and other allies liberated Paris in 1944, Kaminsky went to work for the British government, but this resistance work didn't end after the war. He forged documents for the resistance fighters in conflict-torn nations. When asked why he risked his life to save strangers, Kaminsky replied, "I can't accept that some people think they're superior to others. All human beings are equal, no matter what their skin color, their nationality, their religion." This statement was inspired by a story I read by Joseph Berger in the February issue of Junior Scholastic. Reported from Nightly News, I'm Elijah Kennedy.
Thank you, Elijah. That was a fascinating story. Thank you for sharing it with us.
Now for a look at news and announcements. We go to Nightly News reporter Maddox Williams and Jaden Bauer.
Thanks, Ang.
Here's what's coming up at MLCPA.
Today is our 6th annual Career Day. It will be from 8:45 a.m. to 11 o'clock a.m. The high school will attend presentations on the 3rd floor of the main building. Middle school students will attend the career fair in the cafeteria.
Don't miss your chance to buy a yearbook. There's a limited supply, and once they're out, you'll be out of luck. Stop by and order one from Miss East in room 208 today. They're only $20 and the yearbook is looking really awesome.
Nights Out with the Houston Rockets is next week on Wednesday, March 15th. Over 200 tickets were sold, so you'll see quite a few nights at the game.
Next week is spring break. MLCPA will be closed March 13th to March 17th. We'll resume school on Monday, March 20th.
Thursday, March 23rd, the 7th grade will be taking a field trip to the Houston Zoo. If you're in the 7th grade and your parents want to chaperone, have them email Mr. DeVore at ddevore@houston.org.
That's all the news and announcements this week. I'm Jaden Bowers.
And I'm Maddox Williams. Back to you, Ang and Jonathan.
Thank you, Maddox and Jaden.
Now for the second installment in our series celebrating Women's History Month, we go to Nightly News correspondent Bryson Yarbrough.
In 1912, she soloed after only 4 hours of instruction and became the 4th U.S. woman to earn a pilot's license. She then went on to become the nation's foremost daredevil stunt pilot. Catherine Stinson, an Alabama native, moved with her family to San Antonio, Texas in 1913 to establish the Stinson School of Flying. Stinson Field still operates there. Stinson, known as the Flying Schoolgirl, toured the country thrilling thousands of viewers at fairs with her daring stunts. In the plane she built, she became the first woman and 4th pilot in the U.S. to master the loop-the-loop. In Los Angeles in 1915, she became history's first night skyrider, spelling out cow with flares. That year, she also flew the first airmail route in Texas and was the first woman to serve in the U.S. Aviation Reserve Corps. In 1917, she set a world long-distance record by flying 610 miles from San Diego to San Francisco, nonstop in 9 hours and 10 minutes. During World War I, she volunteered to serve in the military, but was twice rejected just because she was a woman. So she found other ways to serve. She raised $2 million for the Red Cross through exhibition flights and served as a volunteer ambulance driver in France. She later moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico, and became an award-winning architect. Stinson died in 1977 at the age of 86. The second oldest general aviation airport in the United States, Stinson Municipal Airport in San Antonio, was named in the Stinson family's honor. And a middle school in the northwest San Antonio, Catherine Stinson Middle School, was named in her honor. For more information about women like Catherine who helped shape Texas and American history, visit www.womenintexashistory.org. Reported for Nightly News, I'm Bryson Yarbrough.
Thank you, Bryson. Thank you for sharing Miss Stinson's story with us.
Now for MLCPA Sports News, we go to Nightly News reporter Nicholas Liggins.
Thanks, Tom. When we get back from spring break, our A baseball team will be playing Westbriar Middle School on Tuesday, March 21st. The game will be at Key Middle School at 4 p.m. On Wednesday, March 22nd, our B baseball team will play Paul Revere. The game will be at Revere, 4:30 p.m. The middle school soccer team will play McReynolds on Thursday, March 23rd. The game will be at Key Middle School at 5:30 p.m. That's all for the sports news this week. I'm Nicholas Liggins. Back to you, Ong.
So, Jonathan, do you have any plans for spring break next week?
I'm going to New Orleans with my family.
That sounds awesome. Let's go to Nightly News correspondent Isaiah Roger to see what you're doing for spring break.
Hi, Osway. What are you going to do for spring break?
Well, I'm going to go to Universal Studios in Orlando.
Hi, Miss Melton. What are you doing for spring break?
I'm going to California.
Oh, wow.
I know. Awesome sauce.
Hi, Michael. What are you going to do for spring break?
I'm going to San Antonio, Six Flags, and I'm going to go eat.
Hi, Lincoln. What are you going to do for spring break?
I'm going to go to the Rockets game over spring break.
Hi, Miss Ryan. What are you doing for spring break?
For spring break, I'm going to rescue cats every single day.
Dang, that is a real commitment right there.
I'm committed. Cat love.
Hi, Manego. What are you going to do for spring break?
I'm going to my grandma's house in New Orleans.
She must really think you would be a saint.
Thanks, Isaiah. It sounds like people are going to be doing some fun stuff next week.
That's our show for this week. We hope you have a great spring break. We'll see you back here on March 24th.
And remember, if it's Friday, it's Nightly News.
The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie sky is wide and high. Deep in the heart of Texas.